Right at the heart of American foreign policy, the pro-Israel lobby works with amazing skill and gets big results. This isn't some wild idea. It's a real example of how a special interest group can shape what a superpower decides. For many years, this group has made sure that what the US does in the Middle East almost always lines up with Israel's goals, affecting billions in aid and big diplomatic choices. Politicians who back Israel get rewarded. Those who speak against it face tough opposition and risks to their careers. Open talks about the US-Israel relationship are shut down, while the main story told leaves out the Palestinian side and makes people agree without really knowing why. The result is that the US loses trust and its role as a peacemaker, making conflicts last longer and tying its future to a small ally, with big effects for everyone. The US-Israel alliance started with Truman's quick recognition in 1948. This was because of sympathy after the Holocaust and political reasons. At first, the support was a bit unsure. Crises like the Suez Crisis showed that the two countries weren't always on the same page. The big change happened in 1967. Israel's win in the Six-Day War made it a key player in the Cold War. Israel was then seen as a strong pro-Western military base. It got technology, information, and money from the US. This support was said to be vital for Israel to survive. But it also helped America fight against the Soviet Union's influence. When the Cold War ended, the strategic reason for supporting Israel became weaker. But the support didn't stop. Now, it was kept alive by lobbying groups. So, the relationship changed from shared interests to an alliance kept going by political pressure from inside the US. This happened even though the original big-picture reasons were gone. The pro-Israel lobby is like a whole system of groups, donors, and activists, all working to make sure policies are good for Israel. The main way they do this is by funding campaigns. Groups like AIPAC give millions to politicians who support their cause. Besides money, the lobby also shapes what people think by doing public relations, arranging trips to Israel, and directly pushing Congress. A network of regular people sends tons of messages, making it seem like a lot of people really support them. Lawmakers who speak out against Israel often find themselves alone and face real political risks. Think tanks and smart people who question the pro-Israel story might find their money cut off and their careers hurt. This leads to everyone thinking and acting the same way. It becomes a big no-no to even question the alliance between the US and Israel. At the heart of this lobby is AIPAC, with a multi-million-dollar budget and thousands of activists. Their annual conference is a must-attend for politicians who compete to show their support for Israel. AIPAC directs campaign funds and uses its super PAC to elect allies and punish critics. The message is clear. Challenging the lobby means risking your career. Congress approves aid and pro-Israel resolutions with almost no debate, ignoring international criticism. AIPAC has made Israel's interests synonymous with American political interests, distorting national priorities. The lobby's influence is most clear during Israel's military actions in Gaza. Even with global outcry and images of destruction, the American establishment stands united in support of Israel. Any politician who questions Israel's actions gets attacked and labeled as pro-terrorist. Palestinian suffering is downplayed, while the official story only talks about the threat from Hamas. This diplomatic shield encourages Israel's extreme actions, making the US a partner in the cycle of violence. Even as public opinion changes, the policy stays the same, leaving the US isolated on the world stage. At the UN Security Council, America's veto protects Israel from being held accountable for anything. Since 1972, the US has vetoed over 50 resolutions that were critical of Israel, building a diplomatic wall around it. The lobby pushes the government to veto any measure that questions Israel, making the veto a must-do political action at home. This stance hurts the U.S. standing and fuels anger around the world, especially in the Middle East. The veto is the biggest sign of this special relationship, showing how one special interest group controls American foreign policy. Holding Israel accountable remains out of reach, while the US pays the price in its reputation and influence. One of the lobby's most effective weapons is to say that criticizing Israel is the same as being anti-Semitic, which shuts down real discussions. Politicians, professors, and activists who speak out against Israel are called anti-Semitic, putting their good names and jobs at risk. This trick messes up the discussion, making Israel seem like it can't be criticized, and creates a scary feeling at colleges and in the news. Using this accusation for political reasons makes it harder to fight real anti-Semitism and pushes away progressive Jewish people who don't agree with the occupation. The result is a weaker public discussion, where disagreeing is punished and the freedom to learn and teach is in danger. In the long run, this way of doing things hurts the very democratic ideas it claims to protect. The pro-Israel lobby has taken over American foreign policy, making its interests seem like America's national interests. Support for Israel has become official policy, unquestioned, no matter who is in charge or what the public thinks. The relationship just keeps going on its own, guided by a deep-seated system of influence. The original reason for the strategy doesn't really make sense anymore, but the support has only gotten stronger, making national interest mean the same thing as supporting Israel. The costs are high: losing diplomatic trust, getting involved in conflicts, and billions sent to a rich country, while needs at home are ignored. The biggest harm is to democracy. US foreign policy has been handed over to a special interest group, leaving the American people with no real say. The pro-Israel lobby's hold is weakening, thanks to social media and a shift in generations. Images of Palestinian suffering are spreading widely, challenging the official story and getting through to Gen Z. Polls show a big drop in support for Israel among Democrats and young Republicans. The lobby is fighting back with more ads and censorship, but cracks are appearing even on the right and within the American Jewish community. Progressive groups are gaining ground, showing that being Jewish doesn't mean you have to support the occupation. The big question is unconditional support for Israel really in our national interest, or is it just because of pressure from a special interest group? As the agreement falls apart, a reckoning is coming about the cost of this alliance for Palestinians, Americans, and the honesty of the US.